All right, y'all. Today, we're laying some bricks. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today, we got a detailed look and breakdown on these bad boys right here. This is the Air Jordan 4. Actually, the box label is interesting. It says Air Jordan 4 Retro OG SP. Interesting, because it's not an OG. It is an SP. SP stands for Special Projects, just in case you didn't know. But these are the Air Jordan 4 Brick by Brick, a collaboration between Jordan Brand and Nigel Sylvester. Both shoes come just like this. So they will be individually wrapped, individually bagged, and then bound with this Velcro-y type of thing and everything like that. I believe the concept behind that is because when you get a pallet or a crate of bricks, a lot of times they're wrapped up like in, what's that, saran wrap type stuff. And then they've got those straps all the way around it. That way they don't fall off the pallet and things like that. But the entire concept behind the shoe, the release and all of that stuff, including the packaging, is that it signifies the fact that when you are building something, it's oftentimes slow, tedious, and you gotta do it one at a time, brick by brick. And nothing symbolizes that more than the packaging itself. This is supposed to be a full-on brick. It's got a really cool, like rough texture on it, on the lid, on the base, everything. It's really sick. I like it. And the branding that's on there is different too. It says Bike Air instead of like got the Jumpman logo and all of that stuff. So man, they smell hella good too. Like these smell like really nice nubuck, which is what they're made out of. So it's really cool. But either way, this is an Air Jordan 4. So when we're looking at this, I assume that the OG moniker that they place on the tag is pointing towards the overall shape of things. Cause man, these look great, dude. Like the toe on the more modern Air Jordan 4s, ever since the Nike SB release, just looks so good. And it's only gotten better with every release. So like this one right here is no different. When I look at these, I'm just like, man, I can't wait for the white cements, dude. Like I am so excited for those. But this one right here is kind of more premium than something like that, just because it is a collab and all of that stuff. So for those of you guys looking forward to this release, I think you're gonna like it. The outsole itself is really interesting when you just look at it at face value. Yes, it looks just like a regular Air Jordan 4 outsole, which it is. The difference being though is that there are actually like sections of translucent rubber on here. So I don't know what this is like specifically called, but just the rubber piece that wraps up and is stitched on the toe. That's actually clear red rubber, which I think looks really cool. And when accented by the solid portions, again, I just think it looks really cool. It's really unique. Now moving on up, the midsole itself is polyurethane. And I was very curious to know if this was set up the way that the Nike SB Jordan 4s are set up. And it doesn't feel like that. I don't know with 100% certainty, but if I were a betting man, I would actually bet that these are made like traditional Air Jordan 4s with a polyurethane midsole, a 4-foot encapsulated air sole unit, and then a visible air sole unit in the heel. Mostly because when I put them on, it felt just like a regular Air Jordan 4. It did not feel like my SBs. My SBs feel awesome, and these, I wouldn't say don't feel awesome, they just don't feel like those, you know what I mean? Like they just feel like a standard pair of Jordan 4s. The midsole itself is also kind of firm and everything like that. The SB drop was a little softer. The 4-foot, they removed the Nike Air and they replaced it with a pour-on insert, which led for like softer crash landings and things like that. But again, those were built for skate. This is built for something else entirely, biking. So two different sports, two different purposes, and I believe they're just two different models. And then on top of all of that is this Dream Cell insole right here. That's probably the least impressive part of the whole shoe, just because they put so much into everything else that the insole, I'm just kind of like, you could take that thing out, swap it out for anything else that you'd like. A Move baseline would actually be a great option if you're looking to improve the comfort on something like an Air Jordan 4. Now, as far as the upper is concerned, that's where I was kind of confused because again, they almost look like a Nike SB Air Jordan 4. The overall shape obviously is like mimicked after that. Clearly that was the starting point of making the shoes look more like the original Jordan 4s from '89. And so the Jordan brand has actually like taken that template that the SB team used and recreated, and they've been using that for all of their more modern Air Jordan 4s from there on out. But there are other things on here that like made me be like, are they kind of an SB or kind of not? You know what I'm saying? So the materials are one of those things. This toe rand right here It is an actual raw material. I don't know how much of that is like legitimate leather, but there are leather particles in it. But it's got this top coat that I assume is supposed to mimic a brick, even though it's like heavily textured. Like bricks aren't like this, not all the time anyways. Bricks are kind of smooth. I forgot that we got bricks back there. They're not real bricks, but you know. But yeah, I do really like this, but it really reminds me of like something that you would skate in, you know what I mean? Like something that's really gonna protect the nicer material underneath it. I love the baby swoosh on there. I know that some people are sick of that thing, but I love it. It's dope. The rest of the material is really premium. Like this stuff right here is as premium as Jordan Brand kind of gets without it being like some crazy ass release like a Dior or whatever. But this nubuck that they use here is fantastic. It feels great. It looks great. It smells great. It's awesome. It's even got a little bit of texture in certain areas. Like it's a really nice material. So I'm not trying to hype these up. I'm just giving you guys the facts. The materials on these are definitely worth whatever it is that, you know, they cost and things like that, which I can't say for every single Air Jordan 4 release. The other parts that made me kind of like be like, are they an SB release or not, would be the heel tab. It's not as soft and as rubbery as the SB release, but it's definitely softer than some of the previous releases. And same thing with the lockdown tab right there. They're just not as like rubbery, I guess. You know what I mean? They're still plasticky and stuff like that, but they're not quite as soft as those, but they are softer than some of the other stuff. The tongue is another one where it's fairly padded. It's not super padded, but it's fairly padded. So I was like, is this, you know what I mean? Like, is this like a weird mixture of things? I'm not sure. All I know is that altogether, it does look good. It feels good. They feel great on feet. So yeah, and just in case you guys were curious, there is reflective material behind the little like screen right here. So instead of it being mesh, it's reflective. Some people might like that, some people might not. It will restrict airflow a little bit, but it is an interesting change nonetheless. The front of the tongue still features the iconic and classic Jumpman flight logo, whereas behind the tongue, they actually removed the upside down Air Jordan patch and they replaced it with an upside down Jordan Biking Co. 2017 patch. And I believe that is when Nigel Sylvester started working with the Jordan brand, because I think his first drop was those Air Jordan 1s, and they dropped in, I think, around the 2018 timeframe. So that could have been when he signed a contract with them.
These poor, unfortunate souls.
On the rear, they replaced the Nike Air with Bike Air. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm kind of indifferent. I think that it looks cool. I think that it's unique. It almost looks like a custom pair of shoes. You know what I mean? Like when you hire somebody to replace your tabs and put whatever it is that you want on there. That's what it kind of looks like to me, but this is a genuine, legitimate product. So it's kind of cool in that sense. It's different. Also, they do come with a set of extra laces. They are kind of like an off-white or cream look. I do think that that is the best look, unless you do like the tonal look that they already come with the regular brick red lace and stuff like that, but you could swap those laces in there. I think that it looks dope. It's a nice little accent piece. It ties into all the little branding pieces as well as the midsole. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear, that's exactly what I would get. Wide footers tend to go up half a size, but true to size for most people should be good to go. If you are looking for a pair of these and you are in the Sacramento area, listen up, because Phenom is actually going to be carrying them. And the way that you are able to grab a pair of these from Phenom is going to be very interesting. So the Phenom store located in the Doco Shopping Center is going to be giving away at a very specific time. So pay attention to their socials, okay? Phenom Global at Instagram. But they're going to be giving away scratchers, like literal scratcher tickets, which is pretty dope. There are 3 icons within the scratcher ticket to be able to let you know whether or not you won a pair of these in whatever size might be available. If you get a brick, well, you're SOL. If you got the bike, you actually won one. So that's kind of cool. So they do have a bike that's going to be given away. And if you get that on your scratcher ticket, you didn't quite lose. And then if you get the Phenom Global logo, that is your indication that you are able to grab a pair of these guaranteed, but just not guaranteed in your size. So make sure that you get there ASAP so that you can get your size or whatever size is closest to your size before someone else takes it. So again, make sure that you pay attention to Phenom Global over at Instagram, simply at Phenom Global. They will post when you can start lining up for your little scratcher ticket, and good luck to everybody that's trying to grab a pair. Now with that being said, what is today's question of the day?
Today's question of the day is actually a comment that I'm turning into a question of the day.
You can do that?
I can.
Okay.
They wrote in, my favorite WearTesters cutaways is the surprised Aladdin genie. I guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
The more you know. And anything Home Improvement or Seinfeld. And so it got me thinking, what is everybody else's favorite cutaways? Because on this channel, you either like the cutaways
or you don't.
Or you don't.
Yes. Plenty of people have vocalized that they can't stand them. Those people are now gone because this is my house. If you're not respectful in my house, guess what, bro? But yeah, I do like the cutaways. I've been using them for a long time, and you've adopted that kind of like editing style and have run with it, because like you use them for specific purposes, which we've actually detailed in a previous question of the day. Which video?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we make too many of them. I'm so sorry, I don't know. But it is somewhere in there. Yeah, as far as like, do you have one?
My favorite that I try to use sparingly, but I probably still use too much, is...
You do use that too much.
It's just a great way to like give a different feeling, because it can be you're exasperated, you're disappointed, you're just ho-hum. It ends a segment beautifully, so we can go into a different part of the video. But my favorite ones to use are actually, if anybody were to hang out with me long enough, I often break out into songs. So if I can incorporate a song like last week.
This was a vibe, dude. Like, yeah.
And so like I like those.
Yeah, we don't use it too often anymore, but the Jimmy Fallon, that one I really like. I love any grunt from Tim Allen. Basically, when I'm reviewing the video, like doing final edit, and if the cutaway that you've chosen has made me laugh, then it's a good cutaway.
Yes.
And so that's where like I'll leave that. And then should we just re-go over why they're even in there in the first place? Did you want to do it?
I wonder if I still have my notes on it. So sometimes it's just what my brain hears while we're like, I'm editing as we sit here, being like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh, I can move this.
That's so great, by the way. you visibly can tell when I say something, and she's just like, nope. And I'm just like, well, thanks.
It's an easy way to end one segment and transition to the next. It's a great way to cover up my own voice, like if I'm talking to you. Hence the singing thing. Like we don't need to hear me sing all the time. So
yeah, thank goodness.
It's a great way to portray what you are trying to say, but like quicker. And oh, the biggest reason is it's a way to almost entertain myself while I'm editing.
Break up the monotony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like somebody just left a comment being like, oh, I can't even remember the last time you guys covered a Jordan 1. And it's just like, really? Because we did it a week ago. But
feels like they're all the time.
So it's just a different way, because you gotta keep things interesting around here.
Yeah, that's just what it is. I think that they're fun. They're used as entertainment pieces within the information to break it all up. That's basically what it is. Yeah, with that being said, what is your favorite cutaway scene? Or maybe you have a cutaway scene that you would like to see used. If you do, sound off below in the comment section and let us know what it is. Be specific so we can find it, because they're kind of hard sometimes.
Oh.
That's what she said.
There you go. That's another one. Those are always good too.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one.